Right, test 1, 2. Hey, hello gang, welcome to my YouTube channel, which is Keyboard Skills Pro, and a very good evening to you wherever you're watching in the world tonight, and thank you so much for spending a little time with me this evening as we explore, for a second time. This is not the official book launch. We launched this book last year, and one or two folks were saying, hey Tom, you know, we'd like to hear some of the recordings of the pieces in your Power On music keyboard book. And I thought, yeah, you know, it's a nice chance to maybe revisit the pieces in this live stream, show those of you who already own the book how the pieces go, and if you have yet to get a copy of this wonderful book, then of course we'll show you how you might be able to treat yourself to a copy of that this evening. Apologies last week, folks, we didn't do a live stream because we were having a little bit of work done here in the studio, and I've had in here for about a year or so now an air conditioning unit to just keep the sort of the heat down during the summer months when teaching and YouTubing, but the little air conditioning unit wasn't up to scratch, so I got a larger unit, which is the same as the one at my other studio up the other end of the garden, and my father was very kindly installing it for me. And there's a wired vent unit, so I can have nice cold air blowing in, but I haven't got to go outside to turn the machine on. And so we unscrewed the plug where the socket should be, and there was no socket, so we had to pack up the air conditioning unit, send it back, get a replacement. It's typical, isn't it? If there's one on the shelf, you're gonna get it. But anyway, but it's a lovely unit, and we'll be enjoying some cool air. But actually, it's not on tonight because it's a very pleasant evening. Anyway, so we will not do too much talking. First of all, though, we've got Peter Steen. Evening all. Love the video on the man playing the organ. Who the lady didn't recognise his face. Well done, Tom. No doubt, not the only one who had a smile whilst watching. Yes, now Peter, of course we all must give our very best wishes to Peter. Peter's just had a visit to hospital, a planned visit with a little bit of surgery. I think it's either, was it knee, Peter? I think it was knee replacement, and Peter's now in recovery and probably enjoying lots of food and playing music. So Peter, our best wishes for a speedy back to normal for you. But yes, Peter's referring to a little video that some of you may remember a guy called Paul Heine. He's a filmmaker and used to work with Esther Ranson many, many years ago on TV. Well, Paul and his good lady wife Libby live locally to me, and I've seen Paul several times over the years because he comes to the Panto at Leiston Film Theatre, where he and his good lady are patrons of the theatre. And he said to me, Tom, he said, I love the way you play the organ for the Panto. He said, it sounds just like a symphony orchestra. And he said to me, he said, have you ever been to that little cinema in Southwold? I said, they've got an organ in there. And I said, yeah, I know they have. I built it. And he goes, oh, wow, do you play there? And I said, yeah, I've been there for years. So we did a film about the organ in the cinema and how it all works. But there was a bit of backstory that Paul came up with about a lady who is in love with the cinema organist, and the thing is that she doesn't know what he looks like. It's on my YouTube channel. It's called The Organist Entertains. Do check it out. But thanks, Peter, for enjoying that. Rob's on. Hey, Rob, hope you're well. And I know Rob's been travelling a bit recently, doing lots of things, and says hello to everyone. Privileged to have the first copy, one of the first copies, Rob, of the book. Yeah, first print. And good luck with tonight's performance. Reverend Tony's on, Alan Robinson, Trevor Bunce, welcome to you all, gentlemen. And Genos Van's on, welcome, sir. Gary from San Francisco, welcome, Gary, hope you're well. And Norman, Norman is hitting the road and heading to London. Safe travels, Norman. We'll look forward to your lesson on Friday, of course. So everyone, what was the idea? Let me just change the camera quickly. What was the idea of Power On? Well, during lockdown, I wrote a theatre organ book, which was called Theatre Organ Originals, which, quite amazingly, I happen to have a copy of here in the studio. What do you think about that? So this was my theatre organ book, 5 new pieces for theatre organ, and I composed these during lockdown. A lot of people were saying, hey, if you wrote something for home electronic organs and keyboards, we'd love to get one. So that was where Power On came from. And it's been very popular, so I thought we'd have a little walk through some of the pieces tonight. But all the music, as you can see, is very clear and easy to read. It's a much bigger print than a standard keyboard. It's not what we call easy play or easy notation, because it hasn't got the letters in, but it's much easier to read. Big chord symbols, it's ring bound, all the pages are flat. When you open the book, there's suggested registrations, there is a chord library in the back, and lots of other things as well. Anyway, so that one we started with, pardon me, was called the Flip Flop Polka, and that's the last song of the book. So I'll have a little play through some of the pieces, and here we go with a rather nice little number. This one's called Far Away Romance. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so there we go. So that was called Evening Time. And before that, we had Faraway Romance. Now, in case you're thinking, oh, these are nice little tunes, I've never heard these before. Well, that's because these are all composed by me. As for those who don't know, I'm a professional musician. I'm an organist, pianist, keyboard player, teacher, and composer. And so I write and self-publish my own books, which I sell around the world and also online in some forms. But at the moment, the book is only available in printed forms. I think it's quite nice to actually buy a book because it does two things. One, it's nice to have. It's something tangible. You can pick it off the shelf and keep it. But most importantly, I've also used a local print company who professionally print the books, and it's a gorgeous version that they've done. So Evening Time is very appropriate for tonight, actually. Just a nice swing number. And Faraway Romance, that was a request from one of my long-time students, lovely lady called Katrina, who lives locally, and she has keyboard lessons with me for quite a few years. And she said, oh, what about something with a pan flute? Maybe a nice ballad. So that's where that little number came from. So going on next in the book, we've got Bluebells in the Breeze, a nice waltz. And we've got then an organ-style number called the Bottom Three Blues. Just very quickly, you can see that these pieces are chord symbols with a single treble clef melody line. But also in the music there are squares that say P1, P2 and P3, and so on. That means preset or registration, so you know when a suitable sound change might be a good idea. And I've also put in where you might press fill-ins to variations and endings and so on and so forth. We've just had Dan Eckmeyer join us from Ontario, Canada. Hey Dan, very good evening to you here in England. Thanks for joining us here on the live stream. And for those of you who just joined us, we are playing and enjoying, hopefully, music from my recent keyboard book, Power On, which is available via my website, tomhorton.co.uk. At this point, I will pop a link in the chat, and that's where you can see samples of the scores, you can hear a demo of each song, and if you wish to order a copy, you can do it from there. So anyway, let's go to the Ballroom section on my lovely keyboard. Pick a waltz, set the tempo to 100, and at the top of the page it also gives me some suggested registration ideas. It's just nothing too complicated, just something general. Anyway, here we go with Bluebells in the Breeze, followed by the Bottom Three Blues. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, some jazz organ there, gang, with that one, and that was the Ballroom 3 Blues. Now that actually, the title of that piece comes from the Ballroom 3 drawbars, 16, 5 1/3 and 8/3, and that's that kind of quintessential jazz organ sound. So there's a lot of different styles in the book, a lot of different styles, and I've tried to sort of design the book so they're all playable to the level of what we might call a average hobby musician level. So some of them may challenge you a bit, which is good. Some will be very easy to play. Some will be in styles maybe that you like. Some will be in styles maybe that you don't play very often. So I've tried to do a lot of different styles, and also bearing in mind all the wonderful instruments that we have to choose from today. We've got these great Yamaha keyboards and clavinovas. We've got wonderful Lowrey organs, Verzi organs, Ringway organs. There's Allers and Rolands, all these different instruments with so many presets in. Yeah, so lots to explore in your instrument there. So anyway, let's carry on now and play the next one in the book, which is called Western Skies. One of the most common and most popular styles in recent times with modern keyboards and things is a Western, that sort of big country, Clint Eastwood kind of sound, and normally it lives in a category called movie or show time. So this one's called Western Skies. So I hope you enjoy this, gang. And this is kind of in the style, I suppose, of sort of those big Western themes from the 50s and 60s. Anyway, so hope you enjoy Western Skies. a cocktail bossa nova. And that's a cool one because that one I've done as what we call a study in articulation. So there's slurs, staccatos, accents, things like that. And before that, Western Skies. Now, a lot of people have asked, well, Tom, there's so many music books out there. Why have you written one? And I said, well, you're right. There is a lot of music books out, piano books particularly. I've self-published 3 of my own piano books with my compositions in. And there's for sure a lot of keyboard books out there. There wasn't many organ books. A lot of organ books have gone out of print now. So that's why I felt the theatre organ book was good. But I thought maybe a general keyboard organ book would be very good. But most keyboard books today are all the same level. They just put the tune in, and there's very often no chords, there's no markings, there's very little information. So I thought, well, it's a chance to write some nice new tunes, making a bit more use of people's modern keyboards and home organs, and also trying to teach people how to improve their level from where they already are with sort of techniques like that. Now we've got a few more to play. We've got a quick step. We've got a swing number. Actually, let's do a couple of. Let's do another one. We've got what's the next one in the book? We've got clowning in my arms. Not clowning in my arms. Wake up, Tom. Dancing in my arms. That's a quick step. We've got Starship Popcorn, and we've also got clowning around. It's gone very, very quiet on the chat. I'm guessing everyone's just either on the website ordering their book or enjoying the music. Well, either way is good. Let's play. What do we just do? Well, let's do something a bit lively now. Let's do Starship Popcorn. Now, this is a sort of a funky kind of dance rhythm. Let's just whack the camera back over, gang. And yeah, let's try this, and then we'll play Clowning Around, which is a swing big band number. Now at the top of the music, I've put here. Let me just zoom in a little bit on the older music. Look at that, look. Cock, you're doing this tonight, aren't we? So it says voice, synth bell, Fantasia. That's just a couple of sort of synthy sounds. Anything's fine. Rhythm style, club dance or dance. Something dance like that kind of style. And the suggested tempo. But you can see, look, here's all the chords, look. And this is probably the trickiest one in the book. But as you can see, if I give you a quick snapshot of some of the pieces, look. There you go, look, all things like that. So it's all rather nicely done, if I do say so myself. Anyway, let's pop the camera back to where we were. That looks good. Okay, here we go, gang. Oh, that's a fun song. Clowning around, little kind of swing rhythm style in that genre of, I suppose, Count Basie or Ellington. And before that, a very funky upbeat version of Starship Popcorn. I can't remember why that's called that, but it is. Rob Appleby says, hey Rob, welcome, thanks so much again for joining us. Rob says, do you have any plans for a second keyboard book, Tom? Well, yeah, down the line, Rob, yeah, more than likely. I'd like to do another theatre organ book as well. A lot of folks have been asking about volume 2 of Theatre Organ Originals. Also, another thing I am currently building into my schedule, not that I haven't got enough to do, is I'm now also arranging music for piano and organ via a couple of websites where I'm working in conjunction with them as part of a composer arranger program that they run. There's lots of people who do it, but I'm arranging popular pieces for piano and organ and so on, and that's on Sheet Music Direct or sheetmusicplus.com, so you can buy sheet music digitally and print it off or put it on your iPad. So yeah, so doing that as well, Rob. Yes, but hopefully at some point in the future we might get some time to publish a second keyboard book. Who knows? But yeah, it's one of those things. I've always wanted to see my music in print, and it turns out really it's very hard to do that yourself. It's even harder to find a publisher to do it for you. A lot of publishers not wanting to take submissions. I mean, in the old days, you probably know, you would wander into a publisher's office and go, hey, I've written this song, and they'd say, oh, get on the piano then, give it a whirl, or someone would play it for you, or you and your songwriting buddy would be there, and you'd sing and play the tunes, and they'd say, well, I'll give you, £20 for it, which is a lot of money. And of course, a lot of composers in those days were just literally writing songs so they could eat that week, But nowadays, a lot of publishers, the big publishing names in London, so on, they just don't want submissions. They've got in-house people on retainer that they use. So I started off with an actual very small publishing company, and that got my music going. Unfortunately, they had to close down, so I took up my copyright and published the books myself. So my 3 books for piano are called Pianistic. My theatre organ book is called Theatre Organ Originals, and tonight we're having a little waltz around Power On, which is for home organs and home keyboards. But but I will certainly keep arranging music, Rob, and publishing as much as I can myself, and as I say, now doing it in conjunction with the Arrange Me program run by Sheet Music. It's run by Hal Leonard, actually. Hal Leonard, a big publishing company in America, they let people like me get their mitts on popular songs, and then we earn a commission every time we sell them. But you can find those on Sheet Music Direct and sheetmusicplus.com. Well, everybody, that's 35 minutes of each other's time, and as I say, we've had Faraway Romance, a lovely ballad, Evening Time, a swing number, Bluebells in the Breeze, that waltz we heard earlier. The bottom three blues, that's the organ style number. Western Skies, the Cocktail Bossa Nova, Starship Popcorn, Clowning Around, and the Flip Flop Polka. The book also has in the back a chord dictionary, a chord chart system. So you can see all the chords for every song laid out in the back, which is really nice. And of course, the opening number of the evening was a piece called the Flip Flop Polka, which is one of my favourites. So yeah, so there we are, folks. Unfortunately, there is only one more piece in the book to play, and we're going to finish off with that in a very short while. And this one's called Dancing in My Arms. It's a ballroom number. Many years ago, when I was a kid, first playing, I used to play for ballroom dancing and sequence dancing at a local organ club, and went there every 3 weeks on a Monday. So I'd come home from school, have my dinner, and myself, my dad, who was the driver in the family, well, it was the only driver in the family at that time, actually, because mum wasn't driving and grandma and granddad didn't drive, and my grandparents, who lived in the same road as us, we used to clamber in the car, and we used to get there for about 7:30. But this organ club was an interesting organ club, because those of you who go to organ clubs will know what an organ club is. We get a load of people who all have an interest in probably electronic organs, and some of them play an organ at home or a keyboard at home, but they like to come and hear a professional musician play. Now, this organ club only had 6 organ players who were all kind of localish to the town. And it was hilarious because the majority of the club members didn't have anything to do with organs, weren't interested in organs. They wanted music to dance to. So whilst it was called the Leiston and Oldborough District Home Organ Keyboard Society, or what it was called, it wasn't that in any way, shape or form. It was the Leiston Music Dance Club, I suppose, with plus some organists. So we had an organ there. I can't remember what it was. It's some old thing, and I went there one evening after a lady who my grandparents befriended at an organ festival, and they said, "Oh, bring Tom down, and you live in Halesworth and all that, and so on and so forth." Anyway, so I got dragged down to this club. I'd only been playing for about a year, and of course, it was like a load of vampires turning around, going, "Oh, young blood," because I was the youngest there by a mile. I mean, my dad was probably in his probably late. How would he have been? Probably mid-30s, maybe late 30s, and I was only about 11. Anyway, so I had a quick lesson on the organ in the interval with this lovely old boy called John, who was married to Betty, and I got to know them very well over the years. And I played a few of my pieces. I was learning with my organ teacher, and he said, "Well, let's do a foxtrot next." So he set the organ up, and he said, "Right, just play." And he goes, "I'll work that out for you." And yeah, everyone was very pleased with what I did. And so the following week I went back and I'd learnt some more tunes, and I played a waltz and I played a quick step, and then I learnt some rumbas and tangos and so on, and so on it went, and played there for many years. I think I used to play for the sequence dancing, and when I got a bit older and a bit more proficient, they let me actually do half an evening of dancing. And there used to be a lot of people. There was probably 200 visiting people, and some of them were serious sequence dancers. If you didn't do it right, cool, they were right straight up to the organ. That wasn't a rumba, and it's funny actually. You don't ever get that at the Albert Hall. You don't get someone going up to Simon Rattle and going, "Yeah, that brass bit was right." It's only in the organ business, I think. Anyway, but there we are. Steve Homan has just joined us with Pat. Hello, Steve and Pat. We are a bit late tuning in tonight. No worries, Steve. I'm sure you will visit later on. But just so Steve knows what we're doing, selling my wares tonight, and we're showing around my latest keyboard book, organ keyboard book, Power On, which we've been playing through all the pieces. We've got one more to go, Steve. Anyway, so I thought, well, it would be nice to play compose a piece in the book, as it were, that may be suitable for sort of dancing. So Dancing in My Arms is a quick step. Now, quick step's normally a 200. Generally, for more mature dancers, we tend to do 170 to 180, just so we don't finish them off by the end of the dance. So there it is, folks. That is my book, and there's been a lot of copies of this book already gone around the world. Many of the folks watching this evening, I know, have already got a copy, so thank you so much to you for your support. And it's we are going into some tricky times coming up in the world, and for musicians like me, all the things I do. Obviously my work with Alan's, my teaching and all these things all come together, but this is all part of what I do. So if you'd like to support me, if this is a lovely book for playing at home, and if you don't know the tunes, it doesn't matter, because you can watch back this performance. I've played them 99% as they're written in the book, so well, more or less. So you should be able to enjoy them. So yeah, so if you'd like to order a copy, I can ship the books anywhere in the world. Just head to tomhorton.co.uk. There is a link. I'll just put the link once again, so I think it's gone a bit buried in the thing. There's the link. tomhorton.co.uk, and go to the music books. You'll see Power in the list. There's 2 order buttons on the main page after you've had a look. One's for UK customers, and the other link is for USA, Europe and international customers. Please do click the right link, because it won't work out the postage. So there we go. Anyway, hit subscribe, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Lots of videos coming on the channel. We've got some music theory stuff coming. We've got some tuition videos, vintage sheet music. We are going to be going out over the summer here and there, hopefully doing some live location stuff now that I say the COVID thing's calmed down a bit. It's firing up again a little bit at the moment, but we are going to be going to some different places, hopefully doing a bit of live streaming from some locations out and about. But thanks for watching, gang. Take care of yourselves, keep well, keep enjoying the music, and thanks for watching. As I say, if you keep missing the live stream, the way to subscribe is go to youtube.com, search for my channel, Keyboard Skills Pro, and then go to the channel page itself, not one of the videos. The channel page is a circle at the top of the search normally, and then once you're on that page, click on it, and then you'll see a button that says subscribe. Click that, and also ding the Liberty bell. There's a little bell next to it. Click that, and then you'll get a notification when I'm online. You can also go to my website and do that. So lots of things on there, and there is also a way to subscribe to my newsletter on there. So lots of things like that. Peter Steen says thank you very much. Thank you, Peter. Peter's actually also a member of the YouTube channel, so if you want to join the channel as a member, that costs £1 a month, and that helps support, you know, electricity, cameras, all this kind of stuff. And if you want to subscribe a bit more in depth, there is something called David from Penzance is on. Hey David, lovely to speak to you, sir. Thank you. And if you want to support the channel, you can visit patreon.com/Keyboard Skills Pro, where you can get access to bonus videos, PDFs and things that aren't available on my YouTube channel. So it's growing, folks, thanks to your support and interest. Lovely to have your company, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Good night.